Okay, friends, this is the before. This is in excellent condition. It is a men's double breasted blazer. It's just a little too short for me to wear as a dress. I do think I want to convert this into a dress though, so I may add some fabric on the bottom, but it's in excellent condition. I've already had it professionally cleaned. It has the wonderful welt pockets here on the side, beautiful buttons. It's a little loose in the waist, although it is tapered somewhat, but I'll have to find a way to draw that in at the waistline. Um, yeah, so I think I'm gonna start out by cutting the sleeves because the shoulders are just way too broad for me. I like the shoulder pads, but I want to bring my shoulder in about 2 inches. This is where my natural shoulder is. Let's see if we can turn this into a piece of wearable art, Boro inspired. And so here are some of the upcycled elements I'll be using in today's garment. This is very artistic and it came from a panel that I found in a thrift shop that had this on it. And I was thinking about also using some leftover pieces of denim that I have cut up here from a previous upcycle. So these are the elements that I'm thinking about incorporating on today's upcycled men's jacket. We'll see where this journey takes us. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is removing the buttons. I've decided that this will be either a wrap jacket or a wrap dress. That's going to help me take up some of the room in the waist. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove the remaining buttons that I haven't taken off yet. I do want to give you guys a quick little tip when you are shopping for men's jackets to do upcycles on. Be sure to check the fiber contents for anything that has wool in it. You'd be surprised how many men's jackets have wool, and then you get it home and you wear it, and after you've had it on for a while, you start itching. It's a terrible feeling. I've had that happen to me. After you take the time to do all this work, then you can't wear it comfortably because you're itching. So that's just a tip there. So I've got some room like from here down here to do some artwork. I'm thinking of putting some denim on the front, sewing denim patches, Boro style, Boro inspired style. So this is like my design process. I just take fibers that I think look good together. I think this denim will pop against this blue, gray, white, and this has got blue and white. I'm looking at this line. I would prefer to match it to that. Okay, I think I can do that. I think I'd be able to match it to this seam right here. I think this is a dart. And so I just start playing around, layering my decorative elements to see how things will look and where I want to place them. Well, it looks like the first thing that I actually did was to go ahead and start with the Boro technique of applying patches over the top of this finished garment. I took the back pocket off of a pair of jeans, and I actually went in and cut this excess fabric out. And I just cut along really close here, and so that I wouldn't have this extra layer of fabric on the back. I wanted to keep the integrity of the original top stitching, and so I went in with a navy thread and stitched right over. You can't even see. So I really like the way this is looking so far. When the lapel goes back, it's going to cover part of it, but it's totally fine. It's artistic, and this pocket is still very functional. I'm going to go ahead and find an entry point so that I can take my sleeves off. And this is an exceptionally constructed garment. So I'm just gonna very carefully figure out where I want to go in and go ahead and remove my sleeves. So to keep the lining attached to the fabric, the outer fabric, I serged the sleeve all around the armhole opening. The next thing I'm going to do is open this sleeve up. Let me turn it this way for you. So I'm going to go right here where the highest peak is. Just draw a line down this way, open it up and separate it so that I can add a piece in to widen this out so that I will have room for gathers in the shoulder seam. Run a stay stitch to keep the lining in place. Then we're going to come in with our decorative element and stitch that in to widen our sleeve so that we have room for gathers here at the shoulders. Here is the new sleeve, all ready to go. That's how it looks on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and put right sides together here. Basting stitches are in place. So now I'm going to just pull to create my gathers. Okay, yay. I'm feeling good about this design element. I hope it works itself out. I'm trying to go for a make it work moment that Tim Gunn would be proud of. It is now time for me to sew this front patch onto the blazer. I've decided the way I'm going to go about it is this. I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to use this folded crease that I have as my guideline. And I'm just going to stitch on that line, that pressing line. I'm going to use it as my stitching line. I don't know what it is about stitching in the ditch that I find so very satisfying. It just really appeals to me, this particular aspect of sewing. Can anybody out there relate? I think it's because it calls for so much precision. I mean, getting that needle right in between those two fabrics where the seam is, and then also the result is always so pleasing because you can't see the stitches. I think that's why I like it. Okay, I'm feeling it. This is what it's looking like thus far. I went ahead and I machine stitched this down. This I'm going to whip stitch by hand. And this is where I was stitching in the ditch. And so yeah, it's time to put the bottom band on. Or maybe I'll do some decorative elements on the back of the jacket. Friends, here is the waistband of a pair of denims that I'm going to also incorporate in this wearable art, as I'm calling it, aka upcycle. I'm going to go ahead and hand pick the remaining belt loops, as you can see I've done here. And to do that, I normally start from the inside of the waistband where the reinforced stitching is. I take my seam ripper and I go under as many of those as I can at once and rip through them, and that helps get it started. It helps it to start to loosen up. And then I just go in and start picking these stitches, and then I just kind of alternate those two maneuvers until I get it all the way off.